Are you confident that people like Giriraj Kishore and Praveen Togadia will follow that sage advice? Are you a little concerned, apprehensive that tomorrow, day after, you might hear...
Karan, they haven't said anything to the contrary. And I don't know why we should have this apprehension. Everyone is saying that we should accept the court judgment. And nobody has come out and said we should not accept the court judgment, or that the judiciary or the judicial process should not settle it. That's the view which has been expressed publicly by everyone.
Sitaram Yechury, do you accept that point, that how India responds to this judgment is a test for the country, that this is in a sense a challenge that we need to ourselves ensure we win?
Absolutely, absolutely. This is a challenge that we'll all have to rise together unitedly to meet. A lot of water has flown since 1992, and I think the fact that at least announcements are being made by all major political parties to maintain calm, restrain, not fall prey to any provocations, etc. That is welcome if it's followed in letter and spirit, which I hope it will be. Because as I said, there is no other way in our constitutional scheme of things for some dispute of this nature to be resolved in any other way than the judicial process. You were talking earlier, Karan, of reconciliation. If that were possible in these 63 years, it would have happened. The matter reached the courts on the issue of dispute of title deeds, but various issues of faith. The 1994 judgment also, if you remember, Justice Verma also said, the courts can adjudicate on title deeds, but they cannot settle matters of faith. Now these are the issues which have to be settled through an understanding agreement between the various sides. If that fails, let the judicial process take its course and let it culminate with what the apex court will finally say.
Soli Sorabjee, you've just heard Sitaram Yechury in his own words raising an issue that I was trying very hard to raise earlier. The courts can adjudicate on title deeds, they can't adjudicate on matters of faith. But isn't there an attempt made here, with the best intentions no doubt, but an attempt nonetheless by the Allahabad High Court to sort of adjudicate on matters of faith, particularly when they rule that this is the Ram Janmasthan, or possibly when they argue that this is not a legitimate mosque because it was built against the tenets of Islam?
Well, I suppose it's the interpretation of that. But I really think it's incidental. Real thing is, was there a construction or not? And what happened? Was it demolished? Are these facts not capable of being proved by evidence one way or the other? Of course it has acquired a religious complexion, but we should try and minimize the religious complexion part of it. And most important, Karan, at least one thing is there. We have accepted, this shows our attachment to the rule of law and to constitutionalism, that we entrust our judiciary to give a verdict. Of course, they're not infallible, they may go wrong, but this is the greatest achievement, I think, of our people and the majority of our people, that whatever the judgment, we will respect it, though may not accept it. And if we don't accept it, what's the way out? Not protest, demonstrations, and provocative calls, but appeal to the Supreme Court. That, to my mind, is a great achievement.
There's another strain that was clearly audible and visible on television and in the papers during the last 4 days in the build-up to this judgment. Young India, that whole generation born after 1992 who are now 18, are not only disinterested by this whole issue, but they feel it's dragging them back into history. For them, this is a different country. The judgment is part of the past. How do you answer to their essential point? Let's move on. Let's forget this.
No, I recognize the new spirit of the youth. But at the same time, I don't think that they dominate the entire political scene. I think there will still be many more people in this country who think in religious terms.
Only because they're older, perhaps.
See, maybe because they hold the power, because they are dominant in society. But what is important is, in my opinion, that the High Court itself has said a status quo for the next 3 months till the appeals are filed. It is possible that once it goes to Supreme Court, and as you said, it's likely that the Supreme Court will admit at least some of the appeals, then the Supreme Court may lay down, until we decide the appeal, there shall be no move on the ground. And that, in my opinion, gives the time, the opportunity. But
the opportunity for what? Finish your sentence.
Opportunity for different parties
reconciliation
to have at least informal consultations.
So I'm interrupting you because what you're saying is important. I want to underline it. You're saying once the appeal is filed in the Supreme Court, once the Supreme Court has put a stay on further action whilst it adjudicates the matter, that period provides an opportunity for negotiation and an attempt at reconciliation and an attempt at a settlement. Is that right?
I said informal negotiations.
Informal
negotiations between the main parties concerned.
Okay, even if it's informal, but are they serious?
I just now said there can be formal negotiations for settlement only after the final judicial verdict.
Would you accept that the filing of an appeal at the Supreme Court and its admission, along with the Supreme Court staying the operation of the Allahabad High Court judgment, will provide the first opportunity for informal negotiation, an informal attempt at reconciliation? Would you accept that?
I think this judgment has opened a number of opportunities.
No, but answer my question before you go on to something else.
So one of the opportunities that this judgment offers is exactly this. The judgment inter alia suggests that let the Supreme Court handle the issue. Pending that, there can be attempts. But if
can I interrupt?